everybody, thanks for tuning in and welcome to our first fashion podcast, the Buro Fashion 411. On the panel, we have the Buro Fashion team, myself and Joan.
Hi guys! And here we have Sylvia and Barry from Omnilytics.
So I'm Sylvia. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Omnilytics, chief operator at Omnilytics. So my background is in economics. I've always loved fashion. I don't know which girl doesn't, right? So I remember being 11 and sending out surveys to my classmates, asking them to long sleeve, short sleeve, So I was collecting data at that point already. So right after I graduated, I kind of immersed myself in the intersection between tech and fashion, and then led me to Omnilytics. Yeah.
And Barry?
So I followed Sylvia. I did economics also.
Sure, Barry. I'm younger.
I took it a step further. I got a master's and then I ended up working as an economist for 4 years. So I guess that's my analytical background. Then my girlfriend Sherlyn, she started at 23, which is a fashion brand. So got bored of my job, quit that and then joined her. Then I did that for about 3-4 years like that. Then once we sold the business, then Ken and Sylvia called me up and asked me to join.
Barry is the most fashion data person we can find.
The best combination.
Yeah, he's a fashion data nerd, right?
So we're going to be talking about the future of fashion retail for our very first episode. Omnilytics is a data company that provides analytics and insights to fashion brands. So tell us more about what it is that Omnilytics does.
We provide fashion analytics and insights to fashion retailers and brands, real-time market intelligence to help them make better decisions, such as how to mark down, how much to mark down, what to produce, what to design.
What are your key markers? How do you measure this?
What we do is that we monitor websites around the world. So today we are monitoring about 75,000 brands and about 150 million products on a daily basis. So we're pretty tech heavy in that sense. So we monitor that on a daily basis. We take down all this information from the internet. So we monitor e-commerce websites.
Okay.
We take down this information, we process them, and then we visualize in a format that is easy for our end users, which are fashion brands, retailers, merchandisers, to look at and see, okay, if I'm pricing my top at this price, what is my competitor doing? And should I be changing my price or not? So when it comes to the data points, we are taking down pricing, you get to know pricing, colors, when it's launched, when it's marked down, everything is tracked in that sense.
And I saw your infographics on the top hijab brands in Malaysia, and it's really interesting to see how some brands, even though they are maybe on a higher market side, but because they mark down so much or because so many of their stocks are on sale, it brings them down to tier 2 and it's very interesting.
That's very interesting that you think that you brought up, because the traditional way of com shopping is that you go to the store, you touch and feel, and as a human you can only take in so many data points, right? Even if you get an intern to go on your competitor's website to calculate every day how many they're launching or whatever, it's very, very limited. But with technology, with the amount of data that we're monitoring, right, you start seeing these kind of strategies that the naked eye just won't be able to see, and it gives so much advantage to you if you have the kind of awareness in the market. So like you correctly pointed out, right, a brand might appear to be constantly sold out, have very high pricing, seems to be premium, but you realize that they actually launch at discount.
What are some of the popular trends or styles that people are buying?
I think one of the things that's on everyone's mind is really sustainability, right? I don't think it strays too far from the global trend if you think about it. Today we are all connected on Instagram, right? Something that I see today, I want it right away, right? I see it on the runway, I want it right away. But it's just about them. Can the local retailers keep up? Can they pick that up fast enough and then bring it in to meet demand? That's a different story.
Okay, so basically Malaysians are shopping the same way as a shopper from the States?
No.
No?
No, they're not. Malaysians are slow.
I feel like we're still very traditional in a sense that they still prefer to go inside a store to touch and feel. To try out
shopping behavior, is it?
Yeah.
Shopping behavior, no, online shopping has picked up. We can't make a blanket statement that Malaysians still prefer to shop in stores. A lot of online retailers are doing pretty well, even in the current downturn, right? The guys who are winning are really people who can react the fastest based on the information that they have on that. Sorry, now back to the point about what are people buying. Yes, Malaysians are slower, Malaysians are more conservative. Even those trends that say for instance Vogue's Spring Summer 2018 trends is still in trend in Malaysia until now. Pastels lah,
Okay.
It's very safe one. There are trends that were highlighted in the US and the UK that will never make it here.
Right?
Sheer, for instance.
Okay.
or like trend shows, of course lah.
When you look at the trends, do you think that Malaysians are catching up at least?
The way I see it is that, you know how trends reach Malaysia from the US and from the Western markets. They'll go from Western, then maybe down into Korea. Korea adds their own spin on it, and then it comes down to Thailand or whatever, and then Singapore, then only Malaysia adopts. Oh, if Singaporean bloggers wear it, then yeah, wear it.
Okay.
So I don't think that's going to change much. I don't think we're going to jump straight to immediately imitating what's in the Western market.
Okay.
But perhaps that the time it takes for that trend to go through all that whole route, perhaps that could be compressed.
Speaking of conservative, what do you guys think of modest wear? Because I know modest wear market is booming and it's one of the most talked about sections globally. What do you guys think about that?
Our last report that we did, we estimated the size of the just hijabs alone to be worth about 2 billion. It's something that a lot of people are trying to tap into also. So hijabs, for instance, I think I will have to separate hijabs from modest wear in total, because hijab is such a Malaysian phenomenon. The fact that people are willing to pay hundreds and even thousands of ringgit on hijabs is something that you won't see in Indonesia, at least not yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a very celebrity-driven thing, but even in Indonesia, there are a couple of celebrities who wear hijabs, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not for some reason, for some cultural reason, it's not the same as it is over here. So that's a market that we haven't seen translate outside of Malaysia yet.
So even Singapore and Brunei, not so much as well?
Brunei, yes, Brunei is closer. Singapore, not yet, not so. But modest wear as a whole, yes, everyone's trying to get into it. International luxury houses, they're trying to tap into it, but people have noticed that they don't translate that very well to relate to the consumer that they're targeting, so that it ends up looking like a cash grab from the consumers. Because of the lack of tradition, they've always been known as a European fashion house and all that, so there's no ties to them. It looks a bit, I guess, gimmicky.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a European brand that has successfully I guess translated that.
I foresee that it can look quite disingenuous.
Yeah,
the
that's right.
cultural boundary.
But I know that there are brands like Bathsheba and all that are like thriving in that market in the US.
It's good that like Gucci has like appointed like a diversity director that kind of like brings in like more inclusivity.
Do you think it's a bit like too little, too late though?
They
had that thing with that turban, remember?
Yeah, but we're not too late than never.
Then never, precisely, yeah. I think bigger brands are learning, so unfortunately some of them the hard way, but I think it's a good step forward lah. Speaking of stepping forward, what are your predictions for 2020 and beyond?
In terms of trends, well, you tapped on one that was quite apt, sustainability. I don't think we are there yet for Malaysia. I don't know how long it will take also, but it is something that we're hearing more and more of, especially even in Singapore.
That's something that I also noticed, that people are buying into value. So like if people don't buy into brands who don't share the same values as them. I'm not sure if this is translating into data, but it's something that I've been seeing on Instagram. I noticed that brands that use dead stock, for example, and people that are very into sustainability, they buy into that idea. So I'm wondering if that translates into numbers and like purchases. Is that something that you see or no?
Not, at least not I've seen in Malaysia lah. What do you think?
I guess I could approach that answer from the angle of the fact that those brands have a clear commercial mindset in a way that they know their brand identity. So what we've seen with talking to different retailers is that a lot of people jump straight into starting a fashion brand because it's all glitz and glamour, right? But they tend to often neglect the part about like, okay, you first have to have a strong brand identity, then only you build your assortment on top of that. So brands like that, I guess they attract their consumers because they're very clear with their voices. Clear of the brand identity, that they know what to produce and what not to produce, and that inevitably led to better decision making.
That's all the time we have today. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.